Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is talk to my chosen ones about how the system did not teach us how to do it the right way. But a lot of beings are comfortable with doing it the wrong way. You know what I mean? And what brought me to this subject today was just diving in and understanding, like, for a lot of us that got to this space where we are, it took us a lot of hard work. It took us a lot of research. Outside of us, it took us a lot of research and searching within ourselves. It took a lot of energy. It took a lot of fight and battle just to kind of get to a better space of understanding, like, we wasn't taught the best methods, and even if we did learn a couple things here or there, it still wasn't enough to sustain us or to put us in a better space where we are at today. So kind of get into a better space of understanding, like, when you start teaching and showing different methods, a lot of beings are more afraid of being in tune, tapping in and taking in that information. And it's like what I teach my daughter, it's like, I don't want you or her to feel like you're doing this wrong and there is no other way around it. There's always methods around certain things, right? But when you learn board games, you learn how to play them the right way first. You never learn how to play a board game cheating first. And most beings that did, they weren't never no good at it anyways. So it's just like, once you learn the game, once you learn the system, once you learn the structure, once you learn how the beings around you operate, then you learn how to wiggle around appropriately, you know? And it's like, for a lot of us who has put the time and work in to being a better version of ourselves for the next generation, you know, I would never go to a classroom or sign up for a class and then look at a teacher and be like, hey, your methods is weird and I'm not going to do this, you know? If I'm not going to vibe with the teacher's methods, I'm just not going to vibe with them, you know what I mean? Then I would just leave the classroom. But a lot of these beings aren't putting in the work. They aren't showing up to class. They aren't doing the assignments. And then when they don't like the way an assignment is given to them, or a test or a quiz, now all of a sudden they don't like the way the teacher is talking. They don't like the way the teacher is giving instructions. They don't like the way the teacher is being, quote unquote, in opposition to them. So the teacher has been in that space for a while now. So, like, even when I was young as a little being, like, I wasn't combative with teachers. I just didn't do the work. If I didn't want to do the work, I just didn't do the work. Simple process. I wasn't going to sit here and argue with a teacher when it's their job to do what they're doing, you know? And they are older than me. I understand elders, you know? Like, whether they are vibing with us in the right mind state or not, you know, I still understand and I still put some respect on it to a certain degree. But it's like, we've learned and put the work in to learn a lot more better methods, you know, as far as like how to operate out here in a society where everything is witchy, you know? So when you are trying to teach these other methods and help other beings, everybody in the classroom isn't gonna all get an A. That's what you gotta understand. So let's say you dealt with like 20 people for the month, you know, that you just randomly throughout life, pairs, you know, you just say you decided to help with 20. You know, all 20 of them, the quote unquote students, you know, of life, because we all students to a degree, but we all are at different levels. That's why you got 5th graders can teach 1st graders. So those beings is not operating the same. And for me, I just always been one of those beings. It's like, I can learn from anyone. I can learn from my daughter who only been here 7 years. Even though I'll tell her I've been here longer than she has, you know. But that's good that she's in that space, and that's good that little people are still allowed to free think. So I never wanted to remove that process from her as far as the free thinking. So when you have other beings out here who just don't want to learn the healthy methods, they want to do what works for them, you know. And it's like when people are operating in that kind of mind state, they don't have a solid team spiritually, you know. I never see beings who operate in that mind state with a solid team spiritually. So once you start understanding, like, the Creator and the Most High is going to out trump all of this, like, it'll be a lot less friction. But a lot of beings are set to be in a weird space of, now what they doing is they saying a lot of beings got borderline personas. So, you know, that's cool if they say they do. You know, I'm not knocking them. I'm not what they call one of them beings who are allowed to talk about health things on these kind of platforms and not get striked, you know. But they are diagnosing people with things, you know. And it's like, if you're gonna meet the system with a diagnosis, in my spirit, it's like, find the most healthiest one you can find, and then use a spiritual doctor as well too. You know what I mean? So that way it'll feel a little bit more accurate, because you covering the in and the out. Because you cannot take away from the ones that do have the knowledge and information here. It's just that most of them want to be with you with it. You know, they want to overcharge you. They want to put stuff in you that ain't even for you. There's all kind of stuff. We put stuff in our own bodies that ain't for us, you know. So I ain't gonna just point the finger on them. You know, we are slaves to these vessels until you master it yourself, you know. But just understanding, like, when people are fighting righteousness to move healthier, you have to realize how demonic they are, how witchy they are. You have to realize that it's something that's in them that has already taken over. So they have to have multiple areas of help. So that's when you just have to realize you still got to stand solid in your grounds and your belief system with your team. You know what I mean? Because if we're riding for the same team, then it wouldn't be the same kind of friction. You know, like when I argue with somebody on my basketball team, it's because I felt like he took a bad shot and he could have passed it to the open man, you know what I'm saying, who would have scored a bucket for us. You know, that's a different kind of argument imposed from, you know, me arguing with the other team. Because usually when we argue with the other team on the basketball court, it usually can go to hands. You know, I done got a lot of technicals in school, you know, AU, all that, you know what I mean? So for me, I already comprehend that, you know, it don't go to physical blows with my own teammates. We have different ways of arguing and then come into an agreement so we can accomplish the goal, which is to win the game, you know what I mean? But when we arguing with the other team, we automatically thinking, I gotta put you down, I gotta punish you, I gotta put these beaters on you, you know what I mean? So, different process. So, don't beat yourself too much or try to beat it into the other being, because you know you're trying to give them more healthier, more righteous methods on how to move and how to communicate and operate, you know? And they have their own battles to fight and process, but you have to limit how you give your energy. You don't just give all your energy and then just let them suck all your energy and just keep sucking your energy. No. You have to become better in that space with yours, you know? So that's when I always make it my business to make sure, like, I gotta know where you stand, you know what I'm saying? So you could like me as a being, but you better like my team. You better like my team. You better be riding with my team. That's where I be. I don't give a fuck if you fuck with me or not. If you riding with my team, I'm riding with you. You know what I'm saying? If you rocking with my team and we got some friction, best believe I can get over our little friction, because we got a bigger goal at hand, you know? But that's usually not the process. Why it's always this number right here when communicating with people, and people are really combative, and then people live in a weird space where they're constantly making like idealization statements, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you have a person or you're with somebody or not, like, because we all in a world where we don't even have communities anymore. So we're trying to figure out how to establish a family, to establish some land, to get to the communities, to rebuild, to do all of these things. Some of us are, you know, everybody isn't. And it's like, we gotta work harder, you know, and we gotta keep our awareness intact, and we gotta be in tune with everything that's happening around us. Your environment affects you. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. If you do, then that's you. You can fight that process in the inside and drive yourself crazy. But we all understand that our environments, as the wind blows, plays a huge factor on us, you know what I'm saying? And it's about to start raining, so I ain't gonna run it up too long, you know what I mean? But don't put too much pressure on yourself or beat yourself down, because you have better teaching methods and you have better righteous methods to show someone they're choosing to be combative. If they're choosing to be combative, it's because you know what playbook it is. This wind going crazy right now, and it's about to start raining. I'm gonna head up out of here, you know what I'm saying? Y'all tap into everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.